The NFL trade deadline is just 1 week away, and the tension is rising. Every team is weighing its options, and the big question in Dallas is simple: will the Cowboys make a move? Should they go all in and become buyers at the deadline, or stay quiet and ride out the season with the roster they have? Some fans even wonder if they should consider selling, given how inconsistent this year has been. Before we dive deeper, I want to hear from you. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Y for yes if the Cowboys should be buyers, or N for no if you think they should hold steady. Now, before we keep going, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and share it with your friends. And of course, hit the bell icon so you never miss an update on your favorite team. Alright, back to business. According to reports, the Cowboys have been busy making calls around the league, checking in on players like Maxx Crosby and Trey Hendrickson, among others. They're exploring the market, seeing who might be available and what the asking prices look like. That's a smart move by Dallas. Even if no deal happens, you get a real sense of how the league values its top defensive talent, and what it would cost to upgrade. Now, some local reports claim the Cowboys didn't reach out about Crosby. But national insiders tell a different story, saying they absolutely did. It's not shocking if the team tried to keep that quiet. No one wants to admit they made a call that went nowhere. ESPN's Jeremy Fowler backed up those reports, noting that Dallas is searching for an impact defensive player. They've been calling teams across the league, looking at options in the front seven, defensive linemen, linebackers, anyone who could strengthen that unit. When you connect the dots, it's clear, the Cowboys' no defense will decide how far they go this season. And honestly, Jerry Jones seems to have the right mindset right now. He's being patient, not desperate, and that's exactly what Dallas needs. So what do you think? Will the Cowboys pull the trigger before the deadline? Comment below, 1 for yes, 0 for no. Let's see where Cowboys Nation stands. Jerry Jones recently said something that got Cowboys fans talking. He doesn't believe this team is just one player away from fixing its defense. And honestly, he might be right. Sure, adding a difference maker could help, but the Cowboys' issues go deeper than that. What they need more than anything right now is execution, sharper tackling, better communication, and more consistency in the trenches. Now, that doesn't mean they should ignore trade calls. Far from it. But if Dallas makes a move, it has to be the right kind of move, one that actually changes the team's future, not just grabs headlines. Trading a late-round draft pick for solid depth? That's fine. Landing a young, talented defender under team control for multiple seasons? Even better, because that's the kind of deal that pays off now and later. But let's be real, finding that kind of player in late October is incredibly difficult. Teams rarely give up promising, affordable defenders halfway through the season. Most front offices save those long-term roster moves for the off-season, when there's more flexibility and time to rebuild. It's almost impossible to take a struggling defense and turn it into a top-tier unit overnight. You can patch holes, but full transformations? Those usually happen in March, not mid-season. Just look at how other teams, like the Falcons, retooled their defense during the off-season. They added the right pieces, built chemistry, and took a huge step forward. That kind of progress takes planning and patience. So yes, the Cowboys can look to improve. But every move has to make sense, not just for this week, but for the bigger picture of where this team is heading. Let's be honest, the Maxx Crosby dream? That's not happening. The Raiders have no intention of moving him, and Crosby himself isn't looking to leave Las Vegas. Both sides are locked in. Maybe that's something to revisit in the off-season, but for now, it's just not realistic. Now, Trey Hendrickson is a more interesting case. The Bengals' recent loss to the Jets could, in theory, open the door for trade discussions. But the situation is complicated. The Cowboys also took a loss, meaning both teams are in similar spots when it comes to playoff contention. On top of that, Hendrickson re-aggravated his hip injury, and that changes everything. You're talking about a 30-year-old pass rusher, dealing with health issues, on a pricey contract. That's a major risk for a team like Dallas. Even if the Cowboys offered a second-round pick, which is likely the minimum price, that move alone wouldn't guarantee a playoff push. It might be smarter to wait until the off-season, when you could pursue him through free agency or a lower-risk trade with a new deal in place. So I'll throw it to you, what player would you want the Cowboys to trade for right now? Drop your picks in the comments. Let's see what names Cowboys Nation is dreaming about. Meanwhile, Diana Russini from The Athletic dropped some fresh trade buzz worth noting. One name mentioned was Roger McCreary, reportedly available for a late-round swap, something like a fifth-round pick. If Dallas wants to add young depth to the secondary, that could make sense. She also mentioned Quinnen Williams, with several teams showing interest. But the Jets' asking price is massive. Remember, reports surfaced earlier that the Cowboys called about Williams in past trade talks involving Micah Parsons, but nothing materialized. There's no denying it, Quinnen Williams would be a game-changer for this defense. He's dominant, disruptive, and exactly the kind of interior force Dallas could use. But reading between the lines, the Jets clearly don't want to move him, at least not for anything less than a blockbuster return. So while the Cowboys are staying active and exploring options, the reality is that big-name trades rarely come cheap, or easy, this time of year. When we talk about a massive asking price, we're not exaggerating. For someone like Quinnen Williams, you're easily looking at a first-round pick, and probably more than one. There's no question he's elite, but Dallas has already invested heavily in the defensive line. Between Osa Odigizua and the addition of Kenny Clark, the Cowboys have put serious capital into that interior. Giving up multiple premium draft picks for one player just doesn't make sense right now, not when this defense still has several areas that need attention. One star alone won't fix everything. Now, there's been another rumor floating around that's caught some fans by surprise. According to Diana Russini, the Jaguars have been getting calls on wide receiver Brian Thomas Jr. It sounds like Jacksonville is at least listening, but their price is sky-high, likely a first-round pick or a similar package. And honestly, that move wouldn't make much sense for the Cowboys. Thomas has talent, but he hasn't delivered the kind of breakout season many expected. Dallas already has George Pickens, and spending valuable assets for another wide receiver, especially when the defense is what really needs help, would be a step in the wrong direction. Roster building isn't just about chasing flashy names. It's about finding balance, investing in the parts of the team that can actually swing games when it matters most. Right now, that means the Cowboys should focus on defense, not stacking another receiver just for headlines. Dallas needs difference makers, yes, but smart, calculated ones. Not desperation moves.